Hey everyone, in this video I'll be updating my stock price prediction for 2024 for BigBear.ai stock. Of course, BigBear.ai stock is one of the most popular AI investments in 2024, and artificial intelligence is of course the most popular investing trend. So you can understand there's a lot of interest in BigBear.ai stock. So without further ado, let's go take a look at the numbers that I'm going to be using to update my stock price prediction for BigBear.ai stock.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so one of the numbers I'm going to need is BigBear.ai, its enterprise value. Right now it's trading at an enterprise value of 544 million after a big jump upwards and a big jump back downwards in recent weeks. Of course, BigBear.ai stock has been one of the more volatile investments in the market. That's not unlike many of these smaller AI stocks that have been volatile, increasing and decreasing with rapid and violent movements in recent weeks as the prospects improve and decrease and popularity improves and decreases. And so investors looking at BigBear.ai stock should understand that it's going to be volatile going forward. The other thing I'm going to need is its valuation metric, and I'm going to use the EV to revenue. Currently is trading at an EV to revenue of 3.512, and this is another metric that jumped higher and back downward in recent weeks, going as high as EV to revenue of 6 and coming back down to 3.5. Still, it's above where it started the year at, slightly above 3 to begin the year. I'm also going to need BigBear.ai's 2024 revenue forecast. And so the current outlook is for BigBear.ai to generate 196.17 million in revenue for 2024. This is higher than my previous forecast for BigBear.ai stock. Roughly 2 to 3 weeks ago, I made a video with my initial price prediction for BigBear.ai stock in 2024. And since I made that video, its revenue outlook has improved. That's why I'm making this update, because the revenue outlook improved so significantly that it forced me to upgrade my BigBear.ai stock price prediction. So let's go to that model right now. So here I have my updated revenue and valuation model for BigBear.ai, and you can see my previous estimates and model, and you can see when I did this video a few weeks ago, and the revenue outlook was for 173.74 million. Here I've kept it 173.74 million revenue expected for 2024. Today, those expectations have increased by 23 million up to 196.17 million, and so that's caused a change in my valuation estimate for 2024. Previously, my estimate was that BigBear.ai stock would reach an enterprise value between 620 million and 650 million in 2024. That's what I predicted in this video here. And so in this estimate, let's look at the different scenarios that are possible. If BigBear.ai does indeed deliver the 196 million in revenue it's expected to, and its valuation metric stays roughly the same at 3.5, its enterprise value could increase to 688.9 million. That would be a meaningful improvement from the 544 million its current enterprise value is at. I think BigBear.ai stock investors would be happy with that increase. What if it doesn't increase as much? What if its EV to revenue falls to 3? That could cause its enterprise value to increase to 588 million. Still, that would be an increase from the 544 million the stock is currently trading at right now. If the EV to revenue was to fall significantly more, down to 2.5, that could cause the enterprise value to drop to 490 million. That would be a roughly 10% decrease from its current valuation. And if the EV to revenue were to fall much further, that could cause the enterprise value to fall to 392.34 million in 2024. So that raises the question, what causes the EV to revenue to rise and fall? Well, that depends on investor sentiment, and investor sentiment depends on several macroeconomic and stock-specific factors. Some of the biggest factors are macroeconomic growth. What's the real GDP growth rate going to be in the US in 2024? So far, after the first 3 months of the year, it looks like macroeconomic growth, GDP, is going to be much better than expected in 2024. Coming into 2024, investors and economists were modeling in the potential for a recession in the US. Now, 3 months into the year, those predictions for a recession have diminished. The economic growth is coming in better than expected. Job growth is holding up much better. Consumer spending is holding up much better. And the effects of higher interest rates are not hurting the economy as much as initially was thought. And so that's raising expectations for economic growth. And if economic growth is better, stocks that are growth oriented, like BigBear.ai, tend to do better when the economy is growing because they're growing at a rate that's usually faster than economic growth. So if real GDP is growing at, let's say, 1.5%, BigBear.ai is going to grow at a multiple of that rate. And the same thing is true on the flip side. If the economy was to decrease and there was to be a recession, then BigBear.ai, its revenue is expected to decrease at a rate that's more than the decrease in the macro economy. So it's going to be more volatile than the general economy. It's a growth stock. It's still growing and it's more volatile and it's more cyclical than the general economy. Well, I shouldn't say more cyclical, but it's just more volatile than the general economy. It's going to grow or decrease at a rate that's much larger than the increase or decrease in macroeconomic activity. So when macroeconomic activity looks better than expected, then investors are willing to pay a higher valuation for BigBear.ai stock because its prospects are going to be better when macroeconomic growth is better. Okay, that's just one factor, one of the biggest factors that I wanted to touch on that cause EV to revenue to increase or decrease based on that factor. There's several other factors that are of lesser importance perhaps than GDP, and there are some factors that are more important than GDP, and those are stock specific factors like its profitability prospects or its longer term revenue prospects. If those improve, then the valuation of BigBear.ai improves much more than with changes in the macroeconomy, because this is more specific to BigBear.ai and it causes an increase or decrease in the valuation more so than changes in the macroeconomy. So those are just to highlight or just to illustrate some of the factors that could cause the EV to revenue to fluctuate. So all that being said, I'm updating my stock price prediction for BigBear.ai. Remember, my previous prediction was from an enterprise value in the range of 620 to 650 million. I'm upgrading both the top and the bottom end of that guidance to 650 to 675 million, given the increase in revenue prospects for BigBear.ai in 2024. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot you could be doing with your time and a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I truly appreciate that you chose to watch this one. If you want to see more videos just like this, hit the subscribe or the like button. They'll both help me make more videos just like this one. Thank you again.